Welcome back to another inspiring chapter. This time we explore the life of a dynamic entrepreneur, sharp investor, and visionary businessman. Let's step right into his world. There's a man whose creation changed the way billions of voices are heard online. You might have used his work today without even realizing it. What began as a simple fork of an abandoned project grew into the backbone of the modern internet. But the story of how it all happened, filled with music, philosophy, rebellion, migraines, controversy, and relentless vision, is far from ordinary. Early life and influences. Matthew Charles Mullenweg was born on January 11, 1984, in Houston, Texas. His father, Chuck, was a computer programmer, which meant Matthew grew up in a home where machines and code weren't just mysterious boxes. They were part of everyday life. His mother guided his upbringing in the Catholic tradition, but young Matthew's mind was already wandering into worlds beyond tradition, into creativity, philosophy, and technology. He attended the High School for the Performing and Visual Arts in Houston, a place that encouraged artistic curiosity. But Matthew's teenage years weren't simple. Chronic migraines often kept him from school, forcing him to find comfort in books, computers, and music. He picked up the saxophone, explored jazz, and balanced his artistic side with an emerging fascination for how the internet worked. By the time he entered the University of Houston, Mullenweg was studying philosophy and political science, subjects that reflected his search for meaning and systems of thought. But university life couldn't contain him for long. Something bigger was brewing, the spark that became WordPress. In 2003, when Matthew was just 19, he joined forces with Mike Little to fork an abandoned blogging software called B2. Their idea was simple yet revolutionary. Build a platform where anyone, regardless of coding knowledge, could share their thoughts with the world. Soon after, they were joined by Michel Valdricki, B2's original developer, and the project quickly began to take shape. He named it WordPress. At first, it was just another blogging tool. But what made it different was Matthew's vision: democratize publishing. He wanted everyone, from hobbyist writers to journalists to businesses, to have an easy, free, and open source way to publish online. That same year, Matthew also co-founded the Global Multimedia Protocols Group, GMPG, with Eric Meyer and Tantek Salik. Together they worked on web standards, showing Matthew's desire not just to build a product, but to shape the internet's very infrastructure. By April 2004, another innovation followed: Ping-O-Matic, a service that notified search engines when blogs were updated. This little creation quietly solved a huge problem for early bloggers. It let their voices travel faster. The leap of faith. October 2004 brought a turning point. Matthew was hired by CNET in San Francisco. For a time, he split his life between his job and building WordPress. But the choice didn't stay balanced for long. By October 2005, he quit CNET, dropped out of university completely, and chose to devote himself fully to WordPress. Leaving security behind wasn't easy, but Matthew had a bigger mission. The world needed WordPress, and he was going to build it. Fighting spam and founding Automattic. Right after leaving CNET, Matthew launched Akismet, a tool to fight comment and trackback spam. At the time, spam was suffocating blogs. Akismet gave users relief, strengthening WordPress's reputation as the platform that cared about the community. Then came another giant step. In December 2005, he founded Automattic. Starting with WordPress.com and Akismet, Automattic quickly became the guardian of WordPress's ecosystem. It wasn't just a company, it was a movement that championed open source software while building commercial products that supported its mission. In 2014, Matthew became CEO of Automattic. Tony Schneider, who had led the company earlier, moved to new projects. Under Matthew's leadership, Automattic expanded with products like WooCommerce, Jetpack, and of course, WordPress.com. Automattic grew without following Silicon Valley's usual script. It didn't rush into an IPO or sell out to big corporations. Even when the company became a unicorn, Matthew charted his own path. In 2021, Automattic raised $288 million and later announced a $250 million share buyback to reward employees, a move that showed his belief in people over profit. Audrey Capital and Investments. Matthew's entrepreneurial spirit wasn't confined to WordPress. In 2008, he co-founded Audrey Capital with Naveen Selvadurai and Audrey Kim. It was an angel investment firm that backed nearly 30 startups. Through Audrey Capital, Matthew extended his support to ideas beyond his own. Later, he invested in companies like Nord Security and Stripe, and continued to fund startups that aligned with his vision of an open, connected internet. Some of his recent investments include AppFlowy software applications, Mindset, health clinics, outpatient services, Uniflow software development, Positive and Holy Grail donuts, food products, Entrepreneur First Private Equity, NoCoDB database software, Pseudo-Write productivity software, Sense financial software. Each investment reflected a different curiosity, but all aligned with his belief in empowering individuals. WordPress in the community. Matthew wasn't just a CEO, he made himself accessible to the community. Each year, he gave an hour of his time to WordPress podcasts, sharing stories and answering questions for free. He believed in giving back, keeping the project close to its grassroots. WordPress itself became more than software, it became a movement. Today, it powers over 40% of all websites on the internet. Automattic's remote revolution. From the beginning, Automattic was a distributed company. Long before remote work became the global norm, Automattic was proving that geography didn't limit talent. By 2021, it had 2,000 employees across 91 countries. For Matthew, remote work wasn't a compromise. It was the future. Sabbatical and controversy. In February 2024, Matthew took a 3-month sabbatical. He framed it as a time for reflection, but the pause was interrupted by controversy. A public feud with a transgender Tumblr user, a platform Automattic owns, sparked criticism and debate about his leadership. It was a reminder that influence comes with scrutiny, and that even leaders who champion openness face challenges. Recognition and influence. Matthew's contributions haven't gone unnoticed. Time magazine listed him among the most influential people on the internet. His role in democratizing publishing has made him a global figure, admired far beyond the tech world, beyond business, philanthropy. Mullenweg's story isn't only about profit, it's also about impact. He has supported numerous nonprofits and causes, often quietly but consistently. He served on boards such as grist.org, a magazine focused on environmental awareness. He supported Eco America, Illuminate the Arts, and the New Museum. His donations helped bring projects like the Bay Lights, a breathtaking light sculpture on the San Francisco Bay Bridge, to life. He has been a backer of charity, Water, bringing clean water to communities in need, and supported the Apache Software Foundation, reinforcing his dedication to open source collaboration. Matthew also served as a board observer at GitLab and a board member at Field Effect Software, guiding companies with his insights. The man behind the vision. Despite being an influential tech leader, Matthew stayed true to his values. He charged a hefty $150,000 honorarium for commercial speaking engagements, but insisted on personally handling travel arrangements. His approach wasn't about luxury, it was about independence. And while Automattic thrived, he never lost touch with WordPress's roots. He showed up for the community, spoke openly, and treated WordPress not just as software, but as a shared global project. Legacy and continuing journey. From the boy in Houston suffering migraines, to the 19-year-old who forked a forgotten project, to the CEO of a billion-dollar company, Matthew Charles Mullenweg has remained guided by one principle: the internet should be for everyone. Through WordPress, he gave the world a voice. Through Automattic, he built tools that empower creators. Through Audrey Capital and his personal investments, he nurtured ideas that might otherwise never grow. And through his philanthropy, he extended his impact far beyond technology. His journey is not without controversy, but perhaps that's the price of vision. To build, to fight, to stumble, and to keep going.